Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I would just like to introduce myself a little. My name is Ruth Hughes, and for the past 20 years I've worked for top boarding schools, both in the United Kingdom and overseas. In addition to my current position, which is Director of Admissions at Stonyhurst College, which is in the north of England, I also work for the Boarding Schools Association as a tutor on their boarding management course, which is a postgraduate qualification for boarding staff. It means that the sector is full of very experienced and well-trained people, and one of the things that you as parents can do is to check that the schools that you are considering for your children have staff who are trained by courses like these. The benefits to students accessing a British boarding school education at a top British boarding school are easy to explain. Children get a strong academic education and access to the top universities. They get an extraordinary range of clubs and activities to participate in. They get astonishingly good facilities and often a very beautiful learning environment. They have supportive and experienced pastoral care and access to a school network and alumni community that ensures students later have the advantage of connections. Students can network with former students from the schools when wanting work experience or applying for their first jobs. Clearly, these advantages are apparent to overseas parents as well as British parents, because according to the 2014 Independent Schools Council census, of 67,000 boarders attending British schools, 24,000 are non-British with parents living overseas. So what makes a Catholic boarding school different from other top boarding schools, and why might you wish to choose this kind of a school for your child? Albert Einstein famously said, "Education is what remains when everything you've learnt has been forgotten." A boarding education is therefore not only about accessing a good academic education, but about forming the whole person. Above all, about preparing young people for life and helping them to be the best people that they can possibly be. Parents choose their boarding school for a number of reasons, and what they have as their priorities will choose the kind of school they want for their children, and therefore the kind of children that are friends with their children and will be mixing with them. Parents who choose Catholic schools, whether they are themselves Catholic or not, are concerned above all with a strong moral foundation and care for other people. Each school identifies its ethos and values in a number of ways. Some parents go straight to league tables and choose schools purely on an academic basis. They perhaps don't take into account that some of these schools are selective academically, and also that some children who are academically hothoused might feel stressed and unable to fulfill their potential as an individual. But schools who think about the whole person can also encourage strong academic results. My own school, which has as its primary focus the development of the whole person, also has students of whom 50% achieve A and A star at GCSE. Of those students who choose to go on and study the International Baccalaureate, we can't give you results yet because they've been doing it for 2 years and we're getting our first cohort through this summer. But they have had a good number of offers from universities both in the United Kingdom and also in America and on the continent. Catholic schools are focused upon treating each student as an individual, and therefore it is important for us that students can make the right choices academically. In line with many other schools, we also offer a wide range of co-curricular activities, and this is typical of schools looking for individual care. The kind of parent who chooses a Catholic school for their son or daughter has that child's development as a human being as the prime motivator in their choice. Of course, they want top results academically as well, and therefore students who can be accepted to Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, and many other good universities, particularly those in the Russell Group. But we also want children who can achieve on the sporting field, who can go on to represent their county or their country in netball or hockey or rugby, in badminton or many of the other hundreds of sports available on our campuses. They look for excellence in music, in singing, in playing instruments of all kinds, in art, in drama and in dance. And all of these opportunities are provided in abundance for our students. Primarily though, they're looking for a community with shared values and shared ethos, young men and women for other people. This means that the kind of parents who choose our schools tend to be really nice people. And that means that their children tend to be really nice children. It means that students make friends quickly and easily, and that they are very supportive of others around them instead of being competitive, as can be the case in some schools. A Catholic school also provides a range of opportunities that may not be available at all other schools. This is a picture of Princess Anne visiting the school recently. The students there went on to plant trees in commemoration of those who had been lost in the last war. Our students also go out into the community in a variety of different ways. This is one of our students who went out to teach English in a primary school in China. Students in the school every week go into old people's homes. They read to children in local primary schools. They go wheelchair dancing with some people who are less physically abled, in addition to the fundraising that many schools consider their charity efforts. They also get really exciting opportunities to go to Peru and to Lourdes on pilgrimage each year. In my experience as a boarding house parent, as the time comes closer to saying goodbye to your son and daughter, priorities change. You already know that the academic results are going to be fantastic and that the facilities are great. What you want to know now is who is going to look after your son and daughter on a daily basis. Who will make sure that they complete their homework? Who will help them if they have a fight with their friend? What if they feel sad and they're missing home? What if they get sick? Let me get some reassurance to you that the standards in British schools, whether they are Catholic or not, are very high. There will be structures to help your child complete their studies. When they do their homework as a younger student, they will be in a room probably full of other students and they will be supervised by someone who can help them. Older students will work in a study bedroom at a time every day during the evening to make sure they get their homework done. At our school, they also belong to a small tutor group of 8 to 10 pupils and meet regularly with their tutor, either in groups or also individually during the course of the week. Tracking systems ensure that academic staff quickly pick up on students who might be falling behind and support them, either with a clinic or with one-to-one care. What you might find different about the tutor care in a Catholic school is, though, that many of the tutors feel themselves to have a calling and a commitment to the type of person each child will develop into. I have many stories from students who say that when they have asked a member of staff for help, they have met with them not only at that time, but for as long as they need until they understand the problem that they are having. When you have a school where the tutors work in the boarding houses in the evening, it means that they are there and accessible to students above and beyond a normal classroom situation. Pastoral support in the school is excellent, and there is a whole range of people students can go to for support when something goes wrong in their lives. Their house parent, their head of year, their tutor, the school counsellor, members of the chaplaincy team, and the nurses who offer a 24-hour nursing medical service. Because we are a Jesuit school, the philosophy and environment encourage the idea that instead of a teacher being up above the children, we are all on the same life journey. Teachers walk on that journey beside their students and support them, which encourages excellent relationship and trust between staff and pupils. The values held by the school are clear and written in our mission statement. Pupils are encouraged to strive for excellence by challenging them to give of their very best in all that they do, by being a caring, supportive, prayerful community of pupils, staff and parents, of preparing young people intellectually, spiritually and emotionally to provide leadership in the modern world, to become well-rounded adults who will do as much as they can for other people. About 60% of the student body is Catholic, which is fairly typical for a Catholic school. The rest of the students comprise of many different cultures and religions, and some of none at all, who are supportive of the values that we hold. All attend Mass every week, although they can choose to attend Mass every day if they wish to, and all are encouraged in reflective thinking and exercises that form part of a Jesuit education and encourage respect for the faith and belief of others. Most students attending boarding schools suffer from homesickness at some point, and boarding staff are well equipped to understand this and to help to treat it. Increasing research has been done on the effect of culture shock in students. This is when the initial excitement experienced by overseas students at their new environment and experiences is replaced by a deep sense of loss for the familiar things of home, cooking, routine and loved ones most of all. Because they haven't had time to engage deeply with the new culture, they experience things for a time as being less good than those they have lost. This can be countered by really good advanced preparation on the part of parents and by agents. To help your children, they should be prepared as thoroughly as possible for what they are likely to experience, the food they are going to eat, the academic culture, and the expectation to participate in sporting and other activities. When they arrive at the school, they should be encouraged to participate in as much as possible, partly because when they are busy, they are less likely to sit around and miss home, and also because friendships are formed when you participate in an activity with those who have common interests. We find that the spiritual teaching associated with being in a Catholic school and the emphasis given to caring for others and finding God in all things gives comfort and strength. So why might you choose boarding for your child if they're going to feel homesick? We believe that what the experience gives children is far greater than temporary difficulties it causes them. They learn to be resilient in a supportive environment. They learn the qualities of independence, tolerance, and empathy for other people. They learn to become citizens of the world and to make friends with others from very different backgrounds and cultures. If a student has never been away from home for any length of time, the first term at university must be a real worry for parents. How will your daughter cope with looking after herself? Will your son have the self-discipline to work without being reminded by his parents to study? Will she be homesick? Will he make the right kind of friends? What happens when things go wrong? Young, bright people can and do sometimes go off the rails and drop out of class, or even have problems with alcohol or drugs. An excellent boarding school, such as Stonyhurst, can make a world of difference to a young person's outlook and prospects. At a Catholic boarding school, young people are supported as they grow in independence. They are encouraged to be young men and women for others and to reflect on their experiences. Who they are as people becomes part of the culture of their learning. And they develop patterns of thinking that will sustain them as they go forth into the wider world. They also benefit from very experienced pastoral staff, well used to coping with the doubts of teenage life. They learn to be away from their parents, but they are not abandoned in a new environment. There is a wide choice of clubs and activities, but they have a tutor to keep an eye on their work-life balance, making sure that they are not stretching themselves too thinly. They are helped to cope with their academic workload and to become self-motivated learners. Most importantly, they are learning to live with others in a community where diversity is celebrated, tolerance is promoted, and a moral code is at the heart of everything. Parents of children who have boarded have understandably less anxiety about university life. They know they have a child who is already resilient, independent, organised and confident. They can get along with other people and deal confidently with new situations. For many years, caring parents have sent their children away to boarding school, not only for academic success, but because of the expertise schools have developed in forming students to become assured, compassionate and responsible adults. What difference could it make to your child to spend a few years in a community where care for others and moral integrity are at the heart of everything? Thank you very much.